All right. If this is your first time to the channel, welcome. We make videos, all things Southern California, what it's like to live here, work here, play here, own a home here, own a business, um, invest here, play here. A lot of playing. Hi, my name is Bruce Clark. I'm a real estate professional. Been doing this almost 18 years. Didn't have gray hair. Those are the kids. Um, and we help people just like you make a move to the area, buy your first home, buy a lot to develop, or even move from the area. So do us a favor, hit the subscribe button, click the bell for notification, like our videos so we can make you aware of the next time we upload a new video on Southern California, and certainly when we go live with another video. So I wanted to talk about all kinds of things tonight. One of the things that I'm going to touch on is rent versus buy and how inflation's factoring in. I read a lot of articles, watch a lot of videos from experts, and talk to a lot of people. And there's so many things that are going on. So many things are going on right now in the real estate industry. 72. This is an interesting statistic. 72% of people that rent don't think they're going to be able to buy. Well, there's a lot of programs right now that are out there for people that are looking to buy a home. We just got notified of another program that's available. I'm going to read this to you. And certainly if you have any questions, reach out to us. So Bank of America has a program. They have a down payment grant program, subsidized 30-year fixed interest rate. They get between 0.5% to 1% lower than the market, $10,000 towards your closing costs, $7,500 off non-recurring closing costs, as low as a 3 to 5% down payment. And there's what's called a special census tract. Now, you don't need 20%. You can go 20%, but has to be owner occupied, 640 minimum FICO score. So we have the loan rep over at B of A that sent this to me. Great guy. Reach out to us. We'll provide his information. Give him a call. A company called Movement Mortgage has something called Boost Program. And this is a full 3 to 5% down payment assistance, 5% options available, which covers 3.5% for the down payment, 1.5% for closing costs. It's available nationwide except New York. Gift funds are allowed, 620 minimum FICO. So that's a good number for some people, even if they've had some financial difficulties. 50% DTI ratio, so debt to income ratio. So if you're making $100,000, you have $50,000 of serviceable debt. So that's DTI. And it has to be primary residence, single family homes, multifamily homes up to 2 units, so not for commercial. And you can do it for condos also. We're also aware of a program up to $25,000 buying assistance program, down payment assistance program from one of our lender partners, and that is Arbor Financial Group, and that's $25,000 you can use for closing costs, to buy the rate down, all kinds of things. What's interesting about this is that 44% of buyers that bought in the past 6 months, I believe it is, use some type of buy down program. The lenders are helping you. They're willing to really get in there and help you afford a home. Of course, we have some longer programs coming up. FHA, I've talked about that. They have a 40-year loan modification program. I believe that will eventually become an originating loan product. Again, we're not lenders, but we keep very close tabs on the lending industry because that affects our buyers. Perfect example. If you're looking at a home, and out here in California, I know $1 million is a lot of money for a home. Out here, certainly in the area that we work, Irvine, Newport Beach, Newport Coast, Corona Del Mar, Tustin, North Tustin, all those areas. $1 million, you're getting a condo. You're not getting. It's hard to get a single family home for that. But $1 million, let's say you put 20% down, do some simple math, $800,000 loan. So if you were getting it at 4%, not doing interest, tax, insurance, but it's $3,200 payment. When interest went up to 6%, doubled your payment. And so there are a lot of people that had sticker shock initially. We're starting to see those buyers come back in the market. And But a lot of people want some type of down payment assistance program. We're seeing it with Movement Mortgage and Bank of America. Chase, I know, has a program, and then what you're doing with Arbor Financial and some others. So there's all kinds of programs. Reach out to us. I think one of the programs, there's a link on the multiple listing service next to a listing, and it gives you the number of down payment assistance programs for a listing, and one of them had 28 of them. So there's all kinds of help out there. Coming back, 72% of the people that are renting don't believe they'll ever be able to buy. And I think for most people, nothing could be further from the truth. It's not about getting in the perfect home initially. It's just not. You'll probably start with a small 1-bedroom, maybe a studio, maybe 2-bedroom. I know some people have started with much bigger homes, but for sake of argument, we see a lot of people start off with a smallish 2-bedroom, maybe even a 3. But you use that to springboard and build equity and move it into another home. A lot of people keep their first home, they use it as an income property, especially in Southern California. We have such nice appreciation over time that, again, you take a 10-year snapshot of any period here, you would make money. And so it seems to be, on the face of it, a great investment. So you keep the first home, you buy home number 2. Now, eventually, people start winnowing down as they move up. They want to have less number of quote unquote doors to manage, so less number of keys, so to speak. So what we see is some people that have had condos and single family homes, they've moved into others, they start selling, or what they do is they consolidate into something like a triple net commercial property where you just kind of clip the coupons. In other words, you just collect the money. We're there for you throughout the entire process. And I tried to get that across to a young lady that called us the other day. And I think sometimes people think all of us real estate agents are the same. And I've never seen that. I don't believe that's the case. We have a very wide skill set. And I've always believed that we need to be there, whether you're buying a mobile home or whether you're building, a 30,000 square foot home in the desert, and you're looking for a team to help you. We do a lot of footwork. So coming back. So first time buyers, love working with you. There's still, even though prices are higher, there's a lot of opportunity in the market. There are the inventory is a lot lower, and that's tougher. But again, I'm a big believer that things will happen the way they're supposed to. Is that the home that was intended for you will be there. I've told some stories about how this works. And so sometimes, buyers get very frustrated, especially as they're submitting the 4th offer, 5th offer, 6th offer. And it can be very frustrating. Heck, sometimes we submitted one offer for a buyer and bam, we got the home and off we go. But that's not the norm, so to speak, unless you're willing to overpay for a property or have that blowout offer. But so we're talking about potential appreciation, but also from a tax standpoint, there's a lot of good tax advantages to owning a home. And that's something certainly we want you to take into consideration. Consult with your tax advisor, financial advisor, your attorney, and try to see how that fits into the entire estate portfolio planning, estate planning portfolio. We speak all the languages, so to speak, of the financial planners. So I'm an old Series 24 securities principal. I own the stock brokerage firm in LA. So when it's time to sit down, if you want us present, we'd love to. Our goal is to help you build wealth. It's not just about buying, about buying and selling a home. It's not dropping you off at a new home builder, collecting a fee, and off you go. We're there. So don't buy the myth that you have to settle for renting. Inflation is going to continue to tick up. Here's what we're seeing. Well, let me come back. Somebody had a great point once, and that was that renting is 100% interest because you're saving nothing. That's not going towards equity. It's not giving you any tax benefits. And certainly from a credit standpoint, it's not as good as owning. Even if you're paying $5,000 a month, somebody has a $1,000 a month mortgage, the credit bureaus look at its owner as some better credit risk. We're starting to see a shift there because a lot of people are renting, but suffice to say that there's a lot of people that are willing to help you throughout this process buy a home. And we've got just the agents, of course, are the industry, but we've also got a lot of lenders. Well, we're also starting to see, let me touch on adaptive use. I read a great article on a site called Connect CRE, and I love it. Just a lot of good information on adaptive use or adaptive reuse. And this gentleman had some really good points. It's not as simple as taking this big building and saying, hey, we're going to make apartments or condos or whatever. It's not as simple. There's so many things that go into it. As a matter of fact, one of the things he talked about was the cost. It might be as expensive. It might be the same cost. Let me just phrase it another way. It might be the same cost as simply tearing the building down, even a 50-story building, tearing it down and building from ground up. So then you have to look at land value. And the question is the land worth it? And we're seeing a lot of places that it's not. We're seeing that one of the things that are driving where people are living is crime. We're seeing it in Portland, Seattle. We're seeing certainly downtown San Francisco. I've touched on that. Building ended up trading hands. A building that was valued at $300 million, traded hands at between 60 to 67.5 million. Don't have an exact number. Trying to find that. You're talking about a 75% haircut or discount. That's a big number. So, but the question is, if it's going to be adaptive reuse, what's the land value? Because you might end up scraping it. Years ago, I did. I was collecting. I was buying a lot of things at auction and reselling. It was very educational with pottery and all kinds of things. Really cool art. But someone had a good saying, and that was, buy what you like because you may get stuck with it. So we have some art at home that no one else wanted to buy. I like it, we keep it. So same thing with real estate. So you buy what you like. Certainly when it comes to something that big. I thought that was interesting. Some great articles, and I'd like to start linking some of these articles so you can kind of see what we're looking at. The inventory is still low. The inventory throughout the country is low. We were out in Riverside County. Riverside County is down almost 50% year over year. That's a tough number. So it's very competitive. We have some novel ways of finding our clients' home, and we're going to find them a home. We're finding the right home, the right price, and there's some things we're doing to do that. So again, if you're looking, reach out to us. We've also got, we're talking about the PPI and the CPI, and so the consumer price index and the producer's price index. PPI is more commercial business. CPI is more us, the consumer. They say that they're coming down, but I'm not seeing it at the pump. I'm not seeing it at the grocery store. They're talking about a pretty good decline. They're saying the Federal Reserve is not going to raise rates again. However, the target's 2%. I don't see how they're going to get to 2% inflation unless they again slow the economy down, which means more rate increases. So check back with us on that. And we're going to start doing more shorts, especially when news comes up. I want to start covering it. And I think it's critical to get this information out and get it out right away. So again, let us know what you're looking for. Our videos, I want to make the videos for you. Again, we read a lot, we study a lot, we talk to a lot of people, all the way from very large commercial investors. There's some brokers we talk to. Of course, the residential, we do a lot of residential. So again, let us know what you're looking for. Let me touch on California ADUs, accessory dwelling units. Some changes. One of the changes was, if you had a multi-unit property, so let's say it four units, you could add an accessory dwelling unit, space permitting, offsets, all that. But you couldn't build a property and at the same time have an ADU. Now the state of California, I believe, is streamlining that. So now you can build 4 units and you build an accessory dwelling unit, or a junior accessory dwelling unit, which is attached, or whatever you want. So we're starting to see some streamlining. There's some other things they're doing with offsets that are making it easier. They're making it so that municipalities, HOAs, have to more quickly review the request. So they're really trying to get this going. But as the state of California, this is really interesting. The state of California is incentivizing and really demanding a lot more building of homes and properties, and of course low-income housing, is that we're butting up against nature, so to speak, and God. So we're butting up against nature, and that is this. And as they're expanding into areas that are more wilderness, more remote, they're running up against insurance companies that are not willing to insure developments or homes in that community. We ran into this when we sold a home at the Crosby's in San Diego. Gorgeous, gorgeous community. It's a golf course community. These are custom homes. We sold a home that had a view of it overlooked all of the Crosby's. Absolutely gorgeous home, and it's a phenomenal view. The gentleman, we had put him in touch with some of our insurance brokers, and so some of them have sale nationwide private client. Which is for private, for larger homes. And they also went to Chubb and some others. At the end of the day, it was like $48,000 a year. And so the buyer was getting ready to back out. I put him in touch with another insurance broker, and they found someone that's willing to insure it. I think it came down to like $12,000. So he proceeded with the purchase, and they made a lot of money in that home. Ended up selling it about 15 months later and made over $1 million. So about 25%. So nice quick return. So, but it was too big for them. They decided, so they were downsizing, and they decided to take that money and do some other things with it. But that was really eye-opening. So what's happening is some of these developments are not able to get insurance, or that's it. And the insurance companies just are not willing to insure. So what the state of California is thinking about doing is actually becoming the insurer of last resort. And that means that we, the taxpayers, will end up being the insurers of those buildings, those properties. And if something happens, of course, then we come back and hit the taxpayer for whatever losses, should there be some. So we're starting to see that. And that's the reality of the situation. There's some areas. So again, what the state wants and what it can have are going to be two different things, and so it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting how that dichotomy, how it plays out. And the state wants, they're forcing people to build, but they just certain places they simply can't, no matter how much the politicians want to force that. So that's going to be interesting, and that's really the big news from what we're seeing out here. The ADUs, let me come back to that for a second, because something we talked about a few videos ago, and I think was very prescient, is that the state of California is banding about the idea of allowing someone to have, quote unquote, what's called mini APNs, or assessor parcel numbers is what an APN stands for. So you have a single family home, just as, for example. And then you would have an accessory dwelling unit would be detached. They'll allow you to split that into a separate building, a separate APN. So you can sell the accessory dwelling unit independent of the single family home, or it could be an income property. Or you could sell the single family home and keep the accessory dwelling unit as an income property. So that hasn't passed yet. But we're reading that's where the tea leaves, reading the tea leaves. And I think that's where they're going, because it all comes down to revenue for the city, county, state. If you have, the more you can, the more streams of revenue you can create from one parcel. And if you could split them 4 different ways, then that's 4 times the revenue, theoretically. Of course, there's going to be one that's probably going to be more, but for the most part, you're going to have 4 streams of revenue in the cities, and cities, counties, states. The state is looking at that and trying to figure out how they can continue to glom onto more and more money. and incentivize, and it's going to be interesting. And I use the word glom because sometimes that's what it is. I mean, it's um, having an accessory dwelling unit on a property is an income property, and then creating a totally separate APN for it, and that's a whole different. Many different with say McGilla, because that's there's a lot of additional things that come into play. It's going to be interesting. Zoning, how's it going to affect certainly with reuse, adaptive reuse? What's the zoning? Do you have to change the zoning? Is it flexible? So it's all kinds of things, and I don't know we're ready for truly flexible zoning because you don't want, for example, you don't want a prison, right next to a large residential development. Same thing, you don't want an asphalt company, or you just don't. So it's going to be interesting to see. So, I covered a lot of things that I've been reading about, but I'd like to know what you're reading about. What questions do you have? Whether you're looking to buy, sell a home, whether you're looking to move, you know, uh, looking to downsize, you're looking to invest in an income property, you might be looking to invest in a hotel, reach out to us. Um, we're here. Same thing with lots. If you're looking to build a home, let us know. So we'd love to help you. So whether you're looking to make a move next 5 days, 50 days, or further out, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. We'd love to help you make a smooth move to Southern California. And if you're looking to move, we'd also love to help you sell. Have a great day.